Most people think skipping meals is a fast track to passing out, losing muscle, and basically falling apart. And honestly, that makes sense. We've been told our whole lives, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, eat every few hours, keep your metabolism going. But here's the thing. What if that's wrong? What if eating less frequently is actually what your body was built for? Because when scientists looked at what actually happens inside your body when you eat just once a day, the results were genuinely surprising. We're talking fat burning, brain clarity, cellular self-repair, and hormonal balance, all triggered automatically without a single supplement or diet product. So today, we're going hour by hour through a full 23-hour fast, and I promise by the end of this, you'll never look at meal timing the same way again. All right, so you've just eaten your one meal. Maybe it's dinner, maybe lunch. Doesn't really matter. For the first couple of hours, everything feels pretty normal. Your body is digesting, nutrients are flowing into the bloodstream, insulin spikes to help shuttle all that energy where it needs to go. Standard stuff. But then something happens that almost never happens in a typical modern diet. Your digestive system gets quiet. Like, actually quiet. Stomach activity slows down, insulin starts to drop, your pancreas, which normally works overtime processing meal after snack after coffee after meal, gets a real break, and your liver, sensing the shift, starts quietly preparing for what's ahead. Here's why that matters. Most of us are eating every 2 to 4 hours. That means our bodies are always in processing mode, always digesting, always managing blood sugar, always storing. There's never a pause. And without that pause, certain things your body desperately needs to do simply never get done. Think of it like never letting your phone fully restart. Sure, it keeps running, but eventually things start glitching, little errors accumulate, performance drops. Your body works the same way. It needs downtime to run maintenance, and constant eating never gives it that window. By around hour 6, your liver has used up its immediate glucose stores and switches to a backup fuel source, glycogen, essentially stored sugar it's been keeping in reserve. It starts releasing that slowly and steadily to keep your brain and muscles running smoothly. No crash, no fog, just a clean, controlled handoff. And your cells, they actually become more efficient during this phase. Your mitochondria, the little energy factories inside every cell, start producing power more cleanly with less waste. This isn't your body panicking. This is precision. This is your biology doing exactly what it was designed to do when given the chance. Then you hit the 12-hour mark, and something really interesting happens. Insulin drops sharply, and that drop is basically a biological key that unlocks your fat cells. Your liver responds by producing ketones, an alternative fuel that your brain can run on directly. And this is the moment a lot of people who eat once a day describe as the shift. The mental fog lifts. Hunger settles into something calm and manageable. Energy feels steady instead of that roller coaster of spikes and crashes you get from eating all day. Here's something worth pausing on. That 3 p.m. slump most people experience, the desperate reach for coffee or a snack just to make it through the afternoon, that's not a sign your body needs more food. That's a blood sugar crash, a direct result of constant eating keeping your insulin levels swinging up and down all day. When you extend your fast, those swings disappear. Your energy plateaus at a stable, sustainable level, and a lot of people find they're actually more productive during the fast than they ever were eating every few hours. Your body has entered what's called a fasted metabolic state, and the wild part is, it evolved specifically for this. This isn't extreme. This is ancient. Now we get to the part that genuinely surprised researchers when they started studying it. Around hour 18, your cells activate a process called autophagy. And if you haven't heard of this, stick with me because it's fascinating. Autophagy, which literally means self-eating, is your body's internal recycling system. Damaged proteins, old malfunctioning cell parts, accumulated cellular junk, all of it starts getting broken down and repurposed. It's like your body performing a deep clean on itself at the microscopic level, scrubbing out the damage before it builds into something bigger. Scientists believe this process is linked to everything from reduced inflammation to a lower risk of certain diseases to slower biological aging. In fact, the discovery of autophagy was important enough to earn a Nobel Prize in Physiology back in 2016. And the catch? It requires time and low insulin to properly activate. Constant eating, even healthy eating, keeps insulin elevated just enough that autophagy never really gets going. One meal a day gives it a full, uninterrupted runway. By hours 22 and 23, fat burning is running at full speed. Ketones are peaking, and here's something most people don't expect. Growth hormone actually increases significantly during extended fasting. That's the hormone responsible for preserving muscle mass, supporting tissue repair, and keeping your body composition in check. So now your body isn't breaking down your muscles to survive, it's actively protecting them while burning fat for fuel instead. The two things most people fear most about fasting, muscle loss and energy crashes, are actually handled by your body automatically as long as you're eating enough food in your one meal to meet your nutritional needs. Your heart also adapts during this window. Blood pressure often stabilizes. Low-grade inflammation, the kind that quietly underlies dozens of chronic conditions, begins to settle down.
Your body isn't struggling through these final hours. It's working at its most efficient. So what actually happens if you only eat once a day? Your hormones find a natural rhythm they rarely get to settle into. Your digestive system gets the rest it almost never receives in a modern diet. Your cells run a maintenance cycle that most people's bodies never allow to do. And your metabolism gets reminded of something it already knew: how to switch fuels, how to repair itself quietly, how to run without constant input. Now, is this right for everyone? Not necessarily. People with certain medical conditions, those who are pregnant, or anyone with a history of disordered eating should absolutely talk to a doctor before changing how they eat. But for most healthy adults, the research is clear. Your body doesn't need food every few hours to function. It needs enough food, eaten in a way that gives it time to actually do its job. Eating once a day isn't starvation, it's structure. And your body, it turns out, was always ready for it.